Hello friends, in this lecture we will see simplex method. So basically we have seen graphical method, the special cases on graphical method. We have also solved some of the previous year numericals. So what we are going to do, we are going to solve the linear programming with the help of some another method. Okay, so basically the new method is simplex method. Okay, so basically our new method is simplex method. Okay, new method is simplex method. So the first question is that why? What is the need of this simplex method? Why we are going to use it? Okay, so suppose in the case of graphical method, okay, suppose in the case of graphical method, when we are using graphical method, so suppose the objective function is like this: 6x plus 5y plus 8z, and the constants are like this: x plus 5 plus z, it is less than equals to 5, and it is 3x plus 2y plus 2z is less than equals to 12, and x y z is greater equals to 12. Okay, so the graphical method, you have to solve the question with the help of graphical method. So you can see that we are plotting the graph. Okay, in graphical method we are plotting the graph between our decision variables. So you can see here that the decision variable are 1, 2 and 3. Okay, the decision variable are 3. So you cannot plot the graph. Okay, for 3 variables you cannot plot the graph on the board. Okay, it means whenever the decision variables are more than 2, okay, whenever the decision variables are more than 2, so we cannot use the graphical approach. Okay, we cannot use the graphical approach. For 2 variables or for 1 variables we can use the graphical method because it is easy for the representation. But here in question we have got another variable, okay, that is z, and we cannot plot it on the graph, so we can't use the graphical method. That's why we will use which method? Simplex method. Okay, the simplex method does not put any restriction on the number of variables. We can use the simplex method with any number of variables, either it is 1, 2 or more than 2. So we can write that when the number of decision variables exceeds 2, okay, when the number of decision variables exceeds 2, then a graphical method fails. When graphical method fails, as a result we have to use the simplex method. Okay, as a result we have to use the simplex method. Okay, so when the number of decision variables exceeds 2, okay, when the decision variable is more than 2, then the graphical method will fail and we have to use the simplex method. Very simple. Okay, very simple. We cannot plot it on the graph. And one more thing, from the objective point of view, we can see that it is not only 2 variables. Okay, it means the linear programming do not only consist 2 variables, it can be more than 2 variables. So for the 2 variables, our feasible region was the combination of lines. Okay, for 2 variable case, the feasible region was combination of lines. And if the variables increases, okay, more than 2, it can be the combination of plane. So one objective question is asked that whether the feasible region can be a combination of plane or not. So we can say yes. Okay, so we can say that the feasible region can be combination of lines as well as planes. Okay, planes means when the number of variables are more than 2, and lines means when the number of variables is restricted to 2. So the feasible region can be a combination of lines as well as planes. It is one of the objective question, 2 marks question of PSU examination. Okay, so just remember it. It can be line as well as plane. Okay, X, Y, Z. So we will take one example that how to solve the simplex method. How to solve the simplex method. So our example remains the same. Okay, we will use the same example which we have already used in the graphical method. Okay, so that we can make confirmation that our answer is correct. The answer is not going to change. Okay, the answer is not going to change. Either you are going to solve the same question with the help of graphical or simplex method. So in graphical method we have taken the example that our objective function was maximize z equals to 6x plus 5y. Okay, and it was subjected to constraint. It was subjected to constraint. The constraints were, the first constraint was x plus y less than equals to 5. The second was 3x plus 2y less than equals to 12, and non-negative restrictions xy greater equals to 0. Okay, so we have to solve this example with the help of simplex method. Okay, we have already solved it with the help of graphical method. Now we have to apply simplex method. So the simplex method says that first convert your linear programming. Okay, first convert your linear programming problem into a standard equation. Okay, so the simplex method says that convert LPP, linear programming problem, into a standard equation. Okay, convert your linear programming problem into a standard equation. So what is the standard equation? Okay, what is the standard equation? So the standard equation consists of two things. Okay, the first one is that all the constraints must be in the form of equations with positive RHS value. Okay, so you can see that the constraints are in the form of inequality. Okay, the constraints are in the form of inequality. So this is not a standard. Okay, this is not a standard. What we have to do, all the constraints must be in the form of equations with positive RHS value. So we have to convert this constant in the form of equations. How we are going to do it? The first constant is x plus y less than equals to 5. X plus y, and it is less than equals to 5. It means it is less than 5. So we have to add something so that it can be equal to 5. We have to add something. So suppose we are adding a variable s1. So now it is going to be equal to 5. Okay, so it is converted in the form of equation, and the RHS value is positive. Okay, if the RHS value, suppose the RHS value is negative, then multiply with minus 1. Okay, multiplied by minus 1. Now the second constant also, 3x plus 2y, it is less than equals to 12. Okay, so we have to add something. So that it gets converted into equation. Okay, it gets converted into equation. So the constant has been converted, and the second statement says that all the decision variables must be positive. All the decision variables must be positive. So here our decision variables are already positive, so no need to worry. X, y, and two more variables came. Okay, s1, s2, all are greater equals to 0. Okay, so these two things has to be done to convert the linear programming problem into a standard equation. Convert the constant in equations with RHS value positive, and all the decision variables must be positive type. Okay, all the decision variables must be positive type. Okay, so this you have converted your constant and your decision variables. Okay, so now what we are going to do, now we are going to apply the simplex method. Okay, now we are going to apply the simplex method. So I am going to write everything here, and we will solve the simplex method in this portion. Little bit of lengthy method, okay, so be just keep the patience. So the constants are, first it is maximize z equals to 6x plus 5y, and the constants where you converted it, the constants are x plus y plus s1 equals to 12, 3x plus 2y plus s2 equals to 12, and x, y, s1, s2 all are of positive type. You can see, you can also add the variables with objective function, okay, so you can, what you can do, 0 s1 plus 0 s2, okay, you can write it like this, because decision variables are 1 2 3 4 4, okay, so 1 2 3 4, so now you have converted your linear programming into a standard equation, okay, a standard problem or a standard equation, okay, just add those variables s1 and s2 in this objective function. So what are the s1 and s2? The s1 and s2, s1 and s2 are the slack variables, okay, s1 and s2 are the slack variables. Now we have to solve this equation with the help of simplex method. So for simplex method, a table will be made, okay, for simplex method a table will be made. For simplex method, a table will be made. You can write here 0 s1 plus 0 s2, okay. A simplex method table will be made, and what we are going to do, first we are going to write the variables, okay, here we are going to write the variables which are present in the simplex, x, y, s1 and s2, okay, x by s1 and s2. The next one is RHS, okay, the next one is RHS, and the last table will consist of theta, okay, the last table will consist of theta. It is known as replacement ratio. It is known as replacement ratio, okay. And now here you just write Cj, okay, you just write Cj, okay, Cj, and with Cj, okay, in this row you have to write the coefficient of x by s1 and s2 which are present in the objective function. So you can see that the coefficient of x is 6, so it is 6. The coefficient of y is 5. The coefficient of s1 and s2 are 0 and 0. So just write it like this, okay. Cj, C6, 5, 0 and 0. These are the coefficient of x by s1 and s2 which are present in the objective function, okay. Now this column will consist of basis, okay. This column is known as basis. Basis means basic variables, okay. Basis means basic variables. So what you have to do, just start your simplex table with the help of slack variables, okay. The first step, it is said that start your simplex table with the help of slack variables. So just write it in your notebook, okay. I will rub it, okay. So the first step is start your simplex table, with slack variables, okay. Start your simplex table with slack variables. So which are the slack variables? S1 and S2. So just write S1 and S2 here, okay. Just write S1 and S2 here. Now these slack variables which are written in this row, okay, these slack variables which are written in this row are also known as basic variables. Now the variables, or you can select variables, now the variable becomes basic variable. Okay, now these variables s1 and s2, since it is basis means basic variable, we have to start our simplex table with the help of slack variables. Okay, we have to start our simplex table with the help of slack variables, and since you have written the slack variables in this row in the column of basis, so this will behave as basic variables. Okay, these are going to behave as basic variables. Okay, these are going to behave basic variables. Now what you have to do, you have to write the coefficient of x, y, s1 and s2, x, y, s1 and s2 in this row. Okay, and whose coefficient of x by s1 and s2 from the constant. Okay, from the constant. See, first constant, the coefficient of x is 1, so you will write here 1. Coefficient of x is 1, so you are going to write here 1. The coefficient of y is 1, so you are going to write here 1. Coefficient of s1 is 1 and coefficient of s2 is 0. Here the coefficient of x is 3. The coefficient of y is 2. The coefficient of s1 is 0 and the coefficient of s2 is 0, 1. Okay, you can see here that these slack variables are now here they have been written, so these are the basic variables. So these slack variables, you can say these slack variables will always make an identity matrix within the simplex table. You can see 1 0 0 1, s1 and s2. Look at s1 and s2, 1 0 0 1. They are going to make the identity matrix. So you can say that the basic variables will always make an identity matrix within the table. Okay, or within the simplex table. You can see, you have to just write this point because I will rub it. Okay, so just write these points in your notebook along with me. Okay, so the basic variables s1 and s2, the basic variables which are s1 and s2, they will always make an identity matrix within the simplex table. Look here, 1 0 0 1. Okay, so first try to make the identity matrix, and the variables which are going to make the identity matrix are known as basic variable. You can also define it in this way. Okay, suppose first you have written this. Okay, first you have written the coefficient from the constant. Now the variables which are going to make the identity matrix, are known as basic variables. See here, so the variables s1 and s2 are going to make the identity matrix, so these variables will be basic variables. And the other variables, that is x and y has been left, so these will become non-basic variables. Okay, you can say that next step, you can say that x and y now means for the first iteration. Okay, x and y now behaves like non-basic variable. Okay, they behave like non-basic variables. Okay, so everything has been written. So I am going to remove these points. So always start your simplex table with the slack variable. Okay, and the variables which are going to make an identity matrix within the simplex table will become the basic variable. Okay, and the other variable which are left will behave like a non-basic variable. So here in the first row, s1 and s2 are basic and these are x and y are non-basic. Now what you have to do, you have to write the coefficient of s1 and s2, okay, in this basis which are present in the objective function. So you can see that in objective function the coefficient of s1 and s2 are 0 and 0, so just put here 0 and 0. Okay, just put here 0 and 0. So our next step will be calculation of zj. Okay, our next step will be calculation of zj. Here j means column. Okay, j means column. So cj means c column. Okay, so this is c1, this is c2, this is c3, and this is c4. Okay, j means column. And how we are going to calculate the zj value? Okay, how we are going to calculate the zj value? Zj is going to be, suppose you are going to find z1. Okay, z1 is going to be the product of 1 into 0. z1 is 1 into 0 plus 3 into 0. Okay, z1 is 1 into 0. This 1 into 0 plus 3 into 0, it is going to be 0. Okay, so we have to do Zj is, Z1 is, here Z1 is 0, Z1 is 0. What is Z2? Z2 is 1 into 0, 1 into 0 plus 2 into 0. Okay, so it is also 0, it is also 0. What is Z3? Z3, you can see 1 into 0 plus 0 into 0, it is also 0. And what is Z4? Z4 is 0 into 0 plus 1 into 0, it is also 0. Okay, 1 into 0 plus 3 into 0, 1 into 0 plus 2 into 0, 1 into 0 plus 0 into 0, 0 into 0 plus 1 into 0. So we have find the Zj value. Now what you have to do for getting the optimal solution? For getting the optimal solution, you have to calculate the value of Cj minus Zj. Okay, you have to calculate Cj minus Zj. You have to calculate Cj minus Zj. So look here, Cj, so C1 minus Z1. So this is Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, C1, C2, C3, C4. So Cj minus Zj, the first column will be 6 minus 0, it is going to be 0. Okay, 6 minus 0, it is going to be 6. Okay, it is going to be 6. It is going to be 5, 5 minus 0, 0 minus 0, and 0 minus 0. Okay, and now what is the RHS value? Look here, the constant we have written, RHS value has been left. So the RHS value for the first constant is 5, and the RHS value of the second constant is 12. So you have to write these things. Okay, you have to write these things. And what is the Zj value? You can find here, Zj value is going to be 0 into 5, 0 into 5 plus 0 into 12. So Zj value, you can see here that the Z value is going to be 0. Okay, this Z value is going to be 0. Okay, 5 into 0 plus 12 into 0, so Z is 0. Okay, so this Cj minus Zj will tell you that whether the solution is optimal or not. Okay, whether the solution is optimal or not. So what you have to do, you have to look for the maximum Cj minus Zj value. Okay, you have to look for the maximum Cj minus Zj value. So maximum is 6. Okay, maximum is 6. The maximum Cj minus Zj value is 6. So Cj, now we have to introduce a incoming variable. Okay, I'm just writing incoming variables. Okay, what is incoming variable? So the variable, we can say that it is the non-basic variable with maximum positive Cj minus Zj value. Okay, we have to introduce the incoming variable. It means that now instead of S1 and S2, okay, we are going to introduce some non-basic variables. Okay, the S1 and S2 are the what? Slack variables. Okay, they have been assumed. Okay, so one of them will go outside and they are going to make a new place for either X or Y. So which of the X and Y is going to become the new basic variable, that is decided by those incoming variables. So basically the incoming variables are the non-basic variables with maximum positive Cj minus Zj value. So what are the non-basic variables? X or Y. So either of the X or Y will be incoming variable. So you can see that the incoming variable will be a non-basic variable with maximum value of Cj minus Zj. The maximum Cj minus Zj is 6. So you can select this column. Okay, you can select this column, and this column is known as key column. Okay, this column is known as key column. This column is known as key column. Now if suppose X is coming, okay, it is this non-basic variable is having the maximum Cj minus Zj value, so it will be the incoming variable. Incoming variable means now it will become in the basis. Okay, so one of them must leave the table. Okay, one of the S1 and S2 must leave the table. So how it is decided? It means the one variable will be outgoing variable. Okay, the other variable, so that they can make the place, the one variable is going to be the outgoing. The one variable is going to be the outgoing variable. So which is the outgoing variable? Look for theta. Okay, look for theta. Theta is going to be b upon aij. Okay, the value of theta is going to be the ratio of b upon aij. What is b? This b is the RHS value. Okay, and this aij is the coefficient of key column. Okay, this aij is the coefficient of key column. So you can see the RHS value is 5 upon 1. It is going to be 5. Okay, 5 upon 1 it is going to be 5, and 12 upon 3 it is going to be 4. Okay, so which of the following is going to be the outgoing variable? We can say the minimum. Okay, the minimum value of basic variable. Okay, the minimum value of the basic variable. Look, S1 and S2 are the basic variables. So which of the following is having minimum value? This 4. So this 4 will be the outgoing. Okay, this 4 will be the outgoing variable, and this x will be the incoming variable. Okay, and here you have to take care that this value, this theta is always positive. Okay, this theta is always positive. Okay, if theta is negative, okay, this theta is always positive. If theta is negative, then do not calculate. Okay, then no need for the calculations. Okay, no need for the calculations. So theta is the minimum positive ratio. It is the minimum replacement ratio, and it is always positive. Okay, it is always positive. So just this 4 will be the outgoing variable. This 4 is going to be the outgoing variable. So in the next iteration, what you are going to see, this S1 will be already present, and now this S2 will go out and X will come. Okay, like this. So you have to look for the incoming variable and outgoing variable. Incoming variable will be having the maximum positive Cj minus Zj value, and the incoming variable is going to have the minimum replacement ratio. Okay, the minimum replacement ratio. Now look, this outgoing row. Okay, this row is known as key row. Okay, this row is known as key row. Okay, this became the key column, so this will become the key row, and the element, look here, this element will become the pivot element. Okay, this element is known as pivot element. Okay, pivot element means the new table, the new iteration will depend upon this element. Okay, the new iteration is going to depend upon this element. So what you are going to do is that just look at 3. Okay, just divide this 3 with each and every numbers present in the key row. So 3 by 3 you are going to get 1, 2 by 3 you are going to get 2 by 3, 0 by 3 0, 1 by 3 1 by 3, and 12 by 3 you are going to get 4. Okay, you are going to get 4. So divide the pivot element with each and every element of the key row. Okay, the next iteration will depend upon this number. Okay, so divide this pivot element with each and every element of the key row. So it is going to be this one. And how to decide the other values? You know that the basic variables, now the basic variables are S1 and X. So the basic variables are going to make an identity matrix within the simplex table. Okay, and here you can write the coefficient from the objective function 0 and 6. Okay, you know that the basic variable are going to make an identity matrix within the simplex table. So look, the basic variables are S1 and X. Okay, S1 and X, and they must make the identity matrix within the simplex table. So you can see here the value of X is 1, and the value of S1 is 0. So you have to make the identity matrix. So what you have to do, you have to put here 1 and 0. In this way you can make the identity matrix, because this basic variable will always make an identity matrix within the simplex table. So the two value you have already got. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to put 1 where? In place of S1. Okay, S1 X 1 and X here 0. Okay, because they are going to make an identity matrix. So just make the identity matrix. Now fill these 3 values. How? Just look at the old value. Old value was 1 and the new value is 1. So 1 minus 1, we are going to get 0. Here also the old value is 1, the new value is 0. 1 minus 0, you are again getting 1. So what you have to do, you have to calculate always old minus new. Okay, you have to always do old minus new. So here 1 minus 1, you got 0. Here 1 minus 0, you got 1. So 1 minus 2 by 3, you will get minus 1 by 3. Okay, 1 minus 2 by 3, you will get 1 by 3. Okay, 1 minus 2 by 3, you will get 1 by 3. And here 0 minus 1 by 3, you will get minus 1 by 3. 5 minus 4, you will get 1. So you have got each and every values. Okay, always do old minus new. Old minus new. Now what you have to do, just calculate the ZJ value. Okay, just calculate the ZJ value. So the ZJ value is 0 into 0 plus 6 into 1. It is going to be 6. 0 into 1 by 3, 0 plus 6 into 2 into 6 into 2 by 3. So it is going to be 4. Okay, then this is going to be 0 and this is going to be 2. Okay, so we have just calculated the ZJ value. Here the Z value is going to be, look here, 0 into 1, it is going to be 0 plus 6 into 4, you are going to get 24. You are going to get 24. Okay, so now what you have to do, you have to find Cj minus Zj. You have to find Cj minus Zj. So Cj minus Zj, 6 minus 6, 0, 5 minus 4, 1, 0 minus 0, 0, and 0 minus 2, minus 2. Okay, 0 minus 2, minus 2. And always in the Cj minus Zj row, you are going to get 0 for the basic variables. Okay, look here, the basic variables were S1 and S2. And here, look, S1 is 0 and S2 is also 0. Since these are the basic variables, you will always get 0 value in the Cj minus Zj row. Here also look, S1 and X are the basic variables. S1 and X are the basic variable. For X, you are getting 0, and for S1, you are again getting 0. Okay, now what you have to do? You have to choose the incoming variable. You have to choose the incoming variable. So which is the incoming variable? The incoming variable is the maximum positive non-basic variable. Okay, maximum positive non-basic variable. So what are the non-basic variable? S2 and Y, S2 and Y, S2 and Y. So this Y is having maximum value. Okay, this Y is having maximum value. So these two will become the key column. Okay, these will become the key column. Okay, and now we have to calculate theta. Theta is 1 upon 1 by 3. So this is going to be 3, and this is 4 upon 2 by 3. This is going to be 6. So the outgoing variable will be the minimum basic variable. Okay, minimum value with basic variable. So this is 3. Now this is going to become the key row. This is going to become the key row, and this 1 by 3 is going to become the key element. This 1 by 3 is going to become the key element. So I am writing my table here. Little bit of lengthy, but steps you have to remember. Okay, steps you have to remember. So what? Here only I am doing it. So what you have to do? Look, this is the pivot element. Okay, this is the pivot element. So what you have to do? You have to divide the each and every element of the key row with this pivot element. Okay, you have to divide each and every element of this row with the pivot element. So 0 upon 1 by 3, 0, 0 upon 1 by 3, 1, 0 upon 1 by 3, 3. This is going to be minus 1, and this is going to be 3. Okay, now what you have to do? So here, which is the outgoing variable? S1. And which is the incoming variable? Y. So here you will write Y and X, and the coefficient of the objective function. Okay, now what you have to do? Just look here, you have to make the identity matrix Y and X. You have to make the identity matrix within the simplex table. X value, the X value is 0, and the Y value is 1. So here you will make what? 0 and 1. So below Y you have to write 0, and below X you have to write 1. So you have made the identity matrix. Okay, look, this is the identity matrix within the simplex table, like this. You have to make identity matrix within the simplex table for the basic variable. These two are the basic variable. Look here. Now you have to do the operation old minus new, old minus new. Look, this was the old value, 1 minus 0, 1, but 2 by 3 minus 1, it can't be 0. It means that what you have to do, just multiply with 2 by 3, okay, for performing the same mathematical operation. Just multiply with 2 by 3. Now do 1 minus 0 into 2 by 3, it is going to be 1. 2 by 3 minus 2 by 3, it is going to be 0. 0 minus 3 into 2 by 3, it will become 2. So 0 minus 2, it is going to be minus 2. It is going to be minus 2. And this one, it will become minus 2 by 3. So 1 by 3 and minus of minus 1 by 3, it is going to be, look, 1 by 3 and minus of minus 2 by 3. So it is going to become 1 by 3 plus 2 by 3. It is going to become 3 by 3. 3 by 3 means 1. Okay, 3 by 3 means 1. And the next one is 4 minus 2. Okay, 3 by 3. 3 into 2 by 3. So it will become 2. So 4 minus 2, it is going to become 2. Okay, it is going to become 2. So now you can see you have to find the ZJ value. Okay, you have to find the ZJ value for X, Y, S1, S2. This is 6, 5, 0, 0. And then you have to find the Cj minus ZJ value. So what is the ZJ value? You can see this is 0 into 5, 0, and 1 into 6. It is going to be 6. Okay, it is going to be 6. This one. So now you can remove. Okay, you can remove this 2 by 3. It was the only multiplied for doing the operations. Okay, old minus new. You have to just check that what we should do. Now this is 5. Okay, this one is 15 minus 12. You are going to get 3. Okay, and this is minus 5 plus 6. Minus 5 plus 6, you are going to get 1. So Cj minus Zj, you are going to get 6 minus 6, 0, 5 minus 5, 0, minus 3 and minus 1. You can see these x and y, these are x and y were basic variables. So you will get 0 value for those basic variable in Cj minus Zj row. You can see you have got for x and y 0. And you have to look for the maximum positive non-basic variable. Okay, so the non-basic variable are S1 and S2, but they are not positive. They are not positive. It means we have reached the optimality. We have reached the optimality. Okay, we have reached the optimality. We have reached the optimality. So you can see the y value is 3 and the x value is 2. So, and the z value, you can also calculate the z value here. The z value is 5 into 3, 15 plus 12. It is going to be 27. It is going to become 27. So you can say that optimal solution is z equals to 27, and the value of x is 2, and the value of y is going to become 3. So this is your answer. Okay, this is your final answer. Okay, this is your final answer. Now we can see some of the steps. Okay, we can see some of the steps. Now just plot this method with the help of graphical method. Okay, it was 0, 5, and this was 5, 0. Okay, and the second one was 3x plus 2y. Okay, the second one was 3x plus 2y. 0, 6 and 4, 0. We have done it earlier. Okay, and this point we are getting 2, 3, and this was our feasible region. Okay, so you can see that one of the corner points was z equals to 0. Okay, one of the corner points was 0, 0, and the value was z equals to 0. You can see we have got the value z equals to 0 in our first iteration. Okay, and the second iteration, you can see the value was 24. The value was 24. You can check the value at 4, 0. You can check the value at 4, 0. Okay, maximum z equals to 6x plus 5y. So for z equals to 4, 0, we used to get 6 into 4 plus 5 into 0. So the answer was 24. Okay, it means at the other corner points we got 24, and at 2 comma 3 you can see the x is 2 and y is 3. For x equals to 2 and y equals to 3, we have got z equals to 27, and this z equals to 27 is the optimal solution. Okay, it means that this graph simplex method continuously improves the result. Okay, z equals to 0 and z equals to 24 and z equals to 27. Okay, with the help of graphical method we have to calculate at each and every value, but the simplex method just keeps on improving the results. Okay, and when we reach the optimal, okay, when we reach the optimal condition that z equals to 27, then it had already given an indication that optimality is reached. Okay, the optimality is reached. So we can write some points. We can write some points that the first point we can write that the simplex method keeps on improving the feasible solution. Okay, it keeps on improving the feasible solution. And the second point is that if all the values of Cj minus Z0, if all the values of Cj minus Z0 is either less than 0 or equals to 0, okay, then optimality is achieved. Okay, the optimality is achieved. Okay, you do not have to move further. Okay, since all the values are either 0 or negative, and we have to select the maximum positive value for the non-basic variables. Okay, since all the values have become 0 or either negative, so optimality is achieved. So it gives an indication that you have reached the optimality. And now the question arises, why we were choosing the minimum value? Okay, why we were choosing the minimum value? See here, the corner point, it was 4 comma 0 and it was 5 comma 0. Okay, look here, the x value is 4, one of the value is 4, one of the corner points is 4, and if you are going to move further from 4 to 5, then you may reach in the infeasible region. That's why we have rejected the value of 5. Okay, that's why we have rejected the value of 5. And the other points also, in the other cases, look here, we have got one of the points to be 2 and other to be 6. If you will move to the 6, okay, if you are going to take the maximum replacement ratio, then you may choose the infeasible region. Okay, you may choose the infeasible region. That's why we are choosing the minimum theta value. Okay, that's why we are choosing the minimum theta value. You can see in the graph also. Okay, because if you are going to choose the maximum theta ratio, then you may reach in the infeasible region. Okay, if you are going to choose this 5, then you may reach in the infeasible region. Okay, and this won't be the answer. And if you are going to choose in the second theta ratio, if you are going to choose 6, then you may reach in the infeasible region. That's why we have chosen 3. 3 means the minimum ratio. Okay, 3 means the minimum ratio. Okay, and the one point is that the z new equals to z old plus z improvement. Okay, this point you must keep in mind. Z new equals to z old plus z improvement. So z new equals to z old. So in the first case, the z old was 0. The z old was 0, and z improvement means Cj minus Zj maximum into theta minimum. Okay, now the question will come that, sir, why you have chosen Cj minus Zj maximum for the next iteration? Okay, why you have chosen Cj minus Zj maximum for the next iteration? So just calculate the Z new 0. First case, the maximum was 6 and the theta minimum is 4. You can see this is 24. This is 24 here. The second Z was 24. Since we have to keep improving our result, we have to find the maximum value of Z. That's why you have to take the maximum value. Since we have to find the maximum value of Z, it is a profit. Okay, it is a profit. We have to increase our Z. We have to maximize our Z. That's why you have taken this maximum value. And for the theta minimum, you know the reason. Okay, if you are going to take the theta maximum, then you may choose the infeasible region, so we do not have to do it. And for this was the for the second. For the third also, look, Z new, the Z old was 24 and the Cj minus Zj, the Cj minus Zj maximum was 1, this is 1, and the theta minimum was 3. You can see it is 27. Okay, it is 27. So everything is related. Okay, everything is related. So you have to remember it, that why we chosen Cj minus Zj maximum, because we have to improve our Z, we have to maximize our Z. Now why the theta minimum? Because you should not choose the infeasible region. Okay, so it directly, the simplex method keeps improving the result. Okay, it keeps improving the results, and whenever the Cj minus Z0, the each and every value is either 0 or it is negative, then it gives an indication that you have reached the optimality. Okay, you have reached the optimality. So this is all about the simplex method. Just revise it. Okay, just revise it because it is little bit lengthy. You have to remember the points. Okay, you have to remember the points. In the upcoming lecture we will solve more questions, so it will be more clear to you. Thank you.